Ever since I left middle school, I stopped reading for fun. Gone were the days of Percy Jackson and Warrior Cats. Then in high school, reading became a chore. Whatever 5 I got on the AP Lang test is totally meaningless now. Look, I spelled parrot wrong the other day, so I'm not exactly the smartest tool in the tool shed. But my pal Raven created a game full of reading. And who am I if not the bestest, most greatest friend to ever exist? So of course I'll put my grudge against literacy aside to play an exclusive copy of Lunacy Loves Company. I don't know that much about this game, but I'm playing it. Don't mind the gates to heaven behind me. For some reason, the way this dorm was built is there's like 5,000 watts straight towards your eyeballs. How many watts is this? Maybe 5,000 is a lot. That's like 100 watts. Anyway, hi camera. I have you on a very precarious position. You're on my light bulb. I'm just a little worried because I won't be able to see OBS if I do that. Okay, yeah, that's why I'm worried. I've stalled long enough, I think. Maybe I'll drink some of my suspiciously colored drink here. So yeah, new camera angle. You're gonna be forever at a Dutch angle. No, I don't know. I don't actually know. Asen's gonna have to tell me what kind of camera angle this is. I think it's mostly a choice and text-based game. There aren't visuals as far as I'm aware. But if Raven wants me to draw visuals, I'm currently not in a semester of school right now, so do with that information what you will. So excited to do this. I can't really see anything. My glasses are very dirty, which is also something Asen tells me that I need to fix. He says to keep like little glasses cleaner with me, but like, do you know how hard it is to like bring keys out of my room every morning, let alone glasses cleaner? I don't know, man. It's a lot to ask. It's a lot to ask. So I just walk around with perpetually dirty glasses. Start in all caps. Waxing gibbous. 2 days until full moon. This is good for me because I don't actually know my moon. Shut up! My fridge likes to make noises occasionally. It happened when I was recording audio for my art history project, and you could hear it in the recording, so I don't want to do anything important with the noise happening, you know? How about that weather? Smart fridges scare me. Like, I went back to my parents' house, and I haven't been away for that long, but using the fridge that has, like, actual water and ice dispensing out of it, instead of having to go down the hallway to get water and ice, pretty crazy. But fridges with screens? Guys, are we that addicted to screens? I know I say that as an art major, so like I am addicted to screens, believe me. But I don't think my fridge needs one. Or actually what I do think is we need clear fridges. Hear me out. Why haven't we invented that yet? I guess maybe because like, it's plastic or making a clear fridge would be hard. But if we can put like screens inside of fridges, why can't we make a clear one so that I can see, oh yes, I have grapes in there and I should eat them before they go bad? Because guess who forgets that there's grapes in there? I put a time limit for Instagram on here because that's the one thing. Like, I don't have TikTok. I don't know what other Twitter. I might actually have that on my phone, but I don't even know how to access it, and I may have gotten rid of it by now. I mean, I could probably just look up in the search bar, but it's not anywhere in the icons. So I feel like Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, maybe Snapchat. Those are the like companies that are hellish, that try to get your attention, make you doom scroll or whatever. But Instagram is the only one I have. And I do feel like doom scrolling didn't make me happy. Not that it's supposed to make you happy. It's called doom scrolling for a reason. But like, I don't know, when I go on YouTube and I watch YouTube videos, most of the time it doesn't feel like I'm wasting my time. I guess I don't do well with like the world sucks and is ending and you should be sad and angry all the time. So I like YouTube where I can, like, it kind of cultivates a feed where it's like, oh yeah, Pokemon games and random drama that doesn't actually matter in the grand scheme of things. But with Instagram and TikTok and everything, it's like designed to make me upset all the time. So I set a time limit on Instagram, and I don't really want to download the other ones. But I guess that's another way that you could cultivate a following. And maybe one day for my art, I will make like a Instagram profile or a TikTok profile. But just for personal use, I don't really see much benefit to using it. I only have Instagram ultimately because that was a platform that some of my friends only use to communicate. Though I do prefer texting, I think. Why is it still going? What is it doing in there? Look, there was this giant ice block that formed in my fridge, and hey, maybe that is a problem. I mean, maybe that means something's blocked, but I'm a college kid. Do I know how to fix that fridge? Not really. Do I want to get someone to fix it for me? Also, not really. It's like a $50 fridge. It's okay. There's an ice block on the back of the fridge, and I had food that I didn't want to go bad. So I'm like, okay, if I defrost the entire fridge and freezer, which are connected, then all the food that I have is going to go bad. So how do I get this giant ice block that's kind of causing problems out of my fridge? Well, I do have a hairdryer provided to me by the university, so maybe it wasn't the greatest idea, but I did spend 90 minutes with a hairdryer pointed towards the back of my fridge, melting away the ice block that was on there. So maybe it's creating a new one for me to have to deal with down the line. It's been like 4 minutes now. Come on, guys. Come on. I can't stall forever. I think maybe, chat, we're going to have to deal with it. Deal with the humming for a little bit. It is what I was saying before I went on a tangent was that it's good that Raven included the parentheses because I don't know my moon phases anymore. I am not a 4th grader. You are a werewolf. Not quite. Living alone in your ruined manor. There's been a werewolf in these woods for decades, but it hasn't always been you. The village thinks you're dead. So is this manor a part of the village? Have any of you played Ultimate Night Werewolf? Is that what it's called? I feel like it's kind of like this. Almost a decade ago, the wolf attacked your home. What? So was there a different wolf that attacked? Okay, the wolf attacked your home. It's just close enough to town to be technically part of it. Oh, we got the answer. Yes, but it's far enough away that the woods were a danger to it. Okay, I'm lost already. Art major tries to read for the first time. Like the word "it" is that referring to the wolf that attacked you, or the village, or your manor? I'm a little confused. That's okay. We'll keep reading. Everyone was slaughtered or fled, including your parents, by the time you managed to kill the creature. Okay, so that's how you turn into a wolf. It bit you. You decided to stay dead. You were 17. Maybe I don't know wolf lore. I was a warrior cat's kid. I was not a wolf kid. I don't know wolf lore. You were 17. Once I was 7 years old. No, wrong one. There's also that one 17 by Lord or something. Anyway. Or Dead Girl Walking. Nope. 17 from Heathers. Today you pace next to the manor's gates. It's been years since you've let anyone in. You're closed off. A recluse. Jolie is arriving soon, supposedly. Her father, Dr. Silver, tried to use your manor for shelter during last month's storm. So Dr. Silver is a funny name, because aren't wolves... No, wait. I don't think wolves are the ones... Yay, it stopped ringing! I don't think wolves are the ones who are allergic to silver. I think it might be vampires. So Dr. Silver is funny if wolves are the ones who are allergic to silver. Tried to use your manor for shelter during last month's storm. He was returning from a conference or house call. Oh, because he's the doctor who goes to the houses for the, yeah. You don't remember which. It was so close to the full moon that you almost killed him, but he recognized you, that you were a werewolf. Oh, yeah. If I remember from Harry Potter, werewolves only turn into wolves. I forget that they're not always wolves. Okay. You begged him for help for monitoring something. Your curse is growing unbearable. You're losing yourself more and more to the wolf each month. You think companionship will temper its aggression. He was afraid of you, but wanted to help, so he told you he would send his daughter, who was his assistant. So he told you he would send his daughter, who is his assistant, in the village. She's late, so late that you're dangerous again, feverish and restless. Let's see. Oh, and we have our first choice here. Invite her inside, lead by addressing your bargain with her father, tell her she can't come in yet. So, but what did we offer him? Well, I think he's just helping you by sending his daughter, which is kind of funny. He's like, I'm scared of you, so I'm gonna send you my child because I don't actually care about her that much. Maybe I'll invite her. I'll just invite her inside because if I get dangerous further, then it might be too late. Jolie will remember that. That is ominous and also in italics as well. Clear your throat, trying to summon up politeness. You don't know how to host, but there used to be people coming and going all the time, right? Please, come in. You must be cold. She smiled a little. Thank you. Sorry I'm late. Dude, I have coworkers who are late to their shifts all the time. Just crazy work. I thought that was like, you get fired for doing that. You shrug it off. It's not much worse than any other time. Oh, you mean it's as in like how you are feeling isn't much worse than any other time. A lie, but you don't want to scare her off. Not yet. Okay, well I have to tell her to follow. Follow me. Your voice sounds foreign to you, deeper and more gravelly than when you would speak before. Oh, follow me. Okay. You bring her up the walkway to the manor, overgrown with weeds and underbrush. It was well maintained once. Oh, it was well maintained once. But the gardener was eating the shed. That's crazy. That's crazy. You don't know what to say to her, so you don't say anything until you get inside. That is so real. So real. I'm kind of bad at small talk, actually. And when people come up to me at work and like try to do small talk, sometimes I don't know if they're joking or if they're being serious. How long have you been alone in here? She asked, looking around. You look around too, trying to see the disrepair through her eyes. It's not pleasant. Since the attack. You don't mention that you lived here before, that this was your home. Oh, okay. This is the kitchen. Are you hungry? I can make... What can you make? Meat? Deer? I have a friend that I associate with deer. That's like kind of their whole thing. She shakes her head. I ate with my father, she says. Her voice gets a little softer. But thank you. The next morning, she comes downstairs while you're trying to... Why are they living together? Did I miss something? I think I missed something. They're living together now? She's not like just coming for a house visit? Like, did this guy offer her dad so much money? Or does her dad really just not care about her? Can I look at the journal? Oh. Okay. The next morning, she comes downstairs while you're trying to cook breakfast. You gathered berries, the only thing you could think of besides the remnants of the pantry, or more meat. It's only just starting to get cold outside, so your harvest is enough for her. Not you, but maybe her. You cook a piece of meat for yourself. Rare. It's juicier that way. The closer it is to the full moon, the less interested you feel in anything cooked, really. I discussed with one of my coworkers. I talk a lot about my work, because that's where I get a lot of my socialization. Anyway, I talked with one of my coworkers. I went up to him and I was like, what is your favorite food? Which, I'm bad at small talk, so I just randomly ask questions. And he said, what did he say? I feel like he said like a couple things. That's why I can't remember specifically. He said he really thinks of favorite food as something that you could eat every day for the rest of your life. Anyway, regardless, I followed up the question by asking how he likes his steak done, and he said medium rare. But that is excuse to make it rare and then feel bad about it. It's like so real. I don't think I've ever cooked a steak once. I may have sliced it up into little strips and then thrown it in while making pasta or something. I cut myself somehow. Oh, oats, you mutter, turning to the pantry, which has seen far better days. Mine too. Mostly empty jars and most of the sack of oats. Oats and water. Yes, I can add the berries. By the time you mix your sad porridge, it looks edible, probably. Your meat has gone cold. You frown. Could you just pop it in the microwave or cook it again? Is this a fancy manner? I'm kind of wondering what time this is set in. Do they have stoves or are they cooking over the fire? Her scent reaches you before she does, utterly distracting and new. You look up. I'm going to make a joke about my cooking. Jolie will remember that. I hope you're prepared, you say, voice a little gravelly from disuse. Oh yeah, after I did the recording for my art history class, my throat was dead. Which is interesting because I talk a lot at work. I'm a customer service facing person. So it's not like I don't use my voice. But for some reason I just projecting or whatever just made my voice hoarse. This may be the most delicious breakfast you've ever tasted. You gesture to the vaguely unappetizing mash you are making. You think maybe you should have used milk instead of water. So, In my experience with cooking, I made macaroni, but I used almond milk instead of regular milk. And then it tasted so weird. Man, that was a sad macaroni. And then like the sauce got all weird and congealed. Anyway, but you don't have any. Yeah. I don't have milk. I don't think I bought milk once. Cause like cereals, like am I going to get like a box of cereal and a spoon and a bowl and pour the milk, and then eat all that before I leave the door? Cause like I do not get up enough with enough time to be able to do that. It doesn't look very pretty at all. That's fair. You set the berries next to the porridge. These will help. She laughs and tells you whatever's fine. You eat. She laughs. It looks interesting, I guess. Jolie takes the tiniest bite she can. You can't stop from watching. That's creepy. She notices you're staring and quickly takes another bite. So she's either very polite or it's not that bad. Probably she's trying to be polite. So what do you do in the days? Surely not cook. That's okay. You bristle slightly, not from anger, just from the unfamiliarity of being seen. You try to collect yourself. Okay. Can I just say, probably has to do with like being perceived, which is what made me think of it. But I have this very specific, somewhat niche fear of being perceived by celebrities. Like, it's to the point where I avoid situations where a celebrity is seen. I have recognized someone, a YouTuber, who came to my work. I saw him. The fear only necessarily happens when I recognize the person is famous. Because when I recognize someone, but I don't really remember, like, where I recognize them from, I'm not necessarily afraid. I'm like, maybe this person is a relative or, like, a past, like, I don't know, someone I've seen before, right? But then when I, like, know that this person's a celebrity and is famous, then that's like, oh, I don't want to be seen by them. I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to interact with them and, like, have my view of them be shattered. I want them to know that people like their content, but I don't want to be perceived by someone that I look up to. So, all that to say that I can understand the unfamiliarity of being seen and being uncomfortable from it. You try to collect yourself. Yes, make a joke. We're funny, haha. Jolie will remember that. Well, I laze around in splendor. She laughs and wiggles the table to make it creak. I envy your life of glamour. Your ears heat up. Setting the sad porridge and berries down, you sit at the table across from her. You're a lot hungrier than usual. The waxing wants you to fuel for the shift. What? The waxing wants you to fuel for the shift? Oh, okay. I'm in work mode. So work-pilled. I'm very work-pilled. Shift, like the shift from a human to a werewolf, not shift as in. You devour your venison, absentmindedly scratching behind your ear. I thought I would show you the manner today, you say once you're finished eating. She's watching you with an expression you can't read. Your ears heat up. What? Nothing, you just really wolf that down. You give her a flat look. She laughs again. Sorry. You'll show me around. That's a funny joke. Knee slapper there. You take her on a tour. You give her a tour around the manor, or the easily accessible parts. You avoid any rooms where people used to live. They're untouched, but it makes your chest feel funny to go inside. Like the ghosts of your family and servants are still in there. You're rushing slightly, the waxing restlessness in full force. It feels a bit better when you get to the library. This reminds me of Beauty and the Beast. This is similar. The girl is what helps alleviate the problems with the beast and turning beasto mode. She visibly brightens when she sees it. It's dusty. You don't get up to a lot of reading. Me too. Obviously, while I try to read this and fumble my way through it. But it was clearly once impressive. You remember when it was impressive. Now it just smells old. Comforting to you, maybe less so to her. You like this room. This is where you spend a lot of your time and your mind isn't too fogged. You're not sure if you want to share it. Like, share the room with another person? Or share that you spend your time there? Oh wow, Jolie gasps. She drifts to the nearest shelf and runs a finger down a book's dusty spine. A shiver shoots down yours. Do you ever air it out in here? Yes. You frown. She shows you the dust on her finger, raising an eyebrow. Sometimes you become interested in the window rather than her face. It's not great for your lungs, she murmurs. Right, she's there to monitor you, partly. Dude, when I went back to my parents' house, my lungs were shot, which probably just from it being like a lot colder, and from my mom said she doesn't really dust a lot, so it could have been like in addition to that, especially if the room that I was staying in hasn't been used in a while. Anyway, let's give her a key to the library, because she likes it. Jolie will remember that. Alright. She's so thrilled that she stays in there for the rest of the day, instead of staying with you. She puts the key in her pocket. It's a relief anyway. You're exhausted, fidgety, unused to talking to other people. Not great company. Same. I am very much introverted. I wouldn't say necessarily like socially anxious, but I would say introverted, where I recuperate a lot better when I need my alone time. And I need my own space to have that alone time. The next night is the full moon. Day 3. Full moon. You retired to your room after the tour, telling her you needed rest. You didn't get it. She probably heard you pacing, but you can't think about that. The full moon is tonight. You're agitated and restless, and after breakfast you tell her you're not feeling well. It would be a good day to stay in the library. You don't feel good? How? She asks. She sounds like my mom. Like, when I say I'm tired, there's a lot of reasons for being tired. But it's like, you're always tired. I don't know. Okay, whatever. You keep forgetting that you should be more open with her, but it feels impossible today. You're sweating and twitchy, and you're having trouble stringing together your words. You shake your head. I'm sorry, I can't think clearly. Just stay away tonight. In your room, it will be safe. Does she not know he's a werewolf? Or, actually, you don't know if it's a he or a they or a she. Because it's technically you, right? So, she blinks but doesn't protest. Alright, will you come and get me if you need my help at least? You nod, relieved that she's listening, then stop. Well, I have it handled tonight, but thank you. You head downstairs. My manager also messaged and was like, hey guys, you can get your hoodies for the low price of $35. Am I made out of cash? I don't know. I think I'm of the opinion, and I guess it is like extra to the uniform. You don't need it. You shouldn't have to buy it from work. I don't know. And you also have to buy if you want an extra shirt. If you work more than one day in a week and you want another shirt, you have to buy another one? Waiting gives 27 days until full moon. The full moon becomes more agonizing each cycle. Maybe your pain tolerance is getting worse. You'd shut yourself in the cellar this time since she was here, and the door barely held. You wake up exhausted and so stiff you can hardly move. That's me after work, guys. It's like you didn't sleep at all. Also me after work. You vaguely remember the shift back at dawn before passing out. You're covered in scratches. All of the furniture in the cellar is broken again. There's a fresh layer of gore, from the shift. Fur, blood, the works. That you'll probably get around to cleaning later. That sounds gross. Well, I guess it's not a pretty... It's doing the thing again. It's not a pretty sight, probably. You drag the only intact mirror in the manor out from its hiding place in a random cabinet once you've mustered the energy to move. And proverbially, nope. Oh my god, I need to go back to 3rd grade. You proverbially... What? How do you even say that word? How do you say that word? Proverbially. Why is there an ad? I just want to learn how to say the word. Oh my god, and there's like an intro. Please. Proverbially. But there's an I. It's not an E. Proverbially. That's not. There is an I and an A in that. There is no E or U. Proverbially is crazy work, okay? And you proverbially lick your wounds with a bucket, a rag, and some cleanish water. I'm mad. Wolf gets bored in the cellar. So there are a lot of gashes for you to went through cleaning. Dude, this is like me in my 2.5-hour long art classes, gnawing at, free me. You sit there for a long time, eyes closed, listening to her moving around upstairs. Get up, Conan. Oh, my name's Conan, okay. Go pretend you're still human. Conan O'Brien? Or Conan Gray? She'll probably be better at patching you up than you are. You hear a knock at the door. The softest knock at the door interrupts you as you've gathered the willpower to stand. The what? You barely hear it, even with the wolf's senses. Beast? It is like Beauty and the Beast. She's close. You can hear her breath, the rustle of her clothes as she negotiates with the failing hinge. That's kind of funny. I like how she negotiates with the failing hinge. That's a funny way to put it. I like it. Are you alright? Well, not alright, but... Jolie, you croak, looking around blearily for some sort of cloth. You wrap a dirty tablecloth around your waist and drag yourself to the door to let her in. Alright. She blinks and looks down, surprised you're on the floor. Oh no. You wince at the horror in her voice. You didn't need to come down. I was kidding. You murmur, unconvincing even to yourself. No, this is why I'm here. You're hurt. It'll heal. Your eyes are so heavy. She crouches, easing you to a sitting position and pushing the door out of the way. Let's clean you up at least. I'm so sorry. You could have told me and I would have prepared better. You blink. She's pretty. No one's taken care of you since you were a teenager. He's in love. Conan's in love. Not good in here, not good. You slur. She looks around the cellar, what she could see of it, and frowns. Okay, we'll talk about this later. Let's get you upstairs, okay? Okay. She helps you up the stairs. One of your arms wrapped around her shoulders. She's holding your waist. She's stronger than you thought she'd be, but you still lean heavily against the wall, so worn out. All you want to do is sit, to stop hurting. You're so painfully aware of the contact with her. It rubs against wounds that will be closed by the next morning. She keeps asking you questions all the way to the kitchen, her voice swimming in your ears. Do you have medical supplies? How do you usually handle the morning after? Does it hurt when I do this? Are you listening to me? But it's taking all your effort not to pass out. You're being gentle, but your head is full of static. A moment. You manage, breath shaking. Once she has you sitting at the table in the kitchen, bleeding, curtain wrapped around your waist, she gives you that moment while she goes to get bandages and water. She moves around you carefully, like you're a frightened animal. Well, you kind of are, right? I could hear you last night, she says softly, setting out water, cloth, herbs, to make salve. Just like warrior cats, guys. Even from my room. You stare at the table, unable or unwilling to look up. The transformation, it's agonizing, isn't it? You can feel her eyes searching your face, like she wants to understand you before touching. Your throat tightens. Agony is the best way to describe it. Your body tearing itself apart, forcing your bones into shapes bigger than your frame. You usually vomit. It's awful. 10 years and you still aren't used to it. Say yes. Say yes. I don't know how to say no to this. I don't know how to say no. What do you say? Jolie will remember that. I didn't have any other option. Hurts like hell, you say, very interested in pushing your mash around in your cracked bowl. You always give her the nice ones, the ones that are still intact. I'm sorry, she says, voice soft. You're still avoiding her eyes, feeling vulnerable. I'm used to it. She's quiet for a second. Finally look up at her before she stands. What are you doing? You're bleeding, she says, taking cloth out of a cupboard you didn't even know the contents of. She dips it in her water cup and starts dabbing at your face. There's an echo of Dr. Silver here from your childhood. Do you always wake up hurt like this? You don't even know you were scratched on your face. That is the closest you've been to another... This is the closest you've been to another person since you were 17. Yes. Watch her. Jolie will remember that. Alright. Have you seen You? Yeah. Like the Netflix. I think it's on Netflix. Anyway. You track her as she dabs at your face, muttering something about running hot. It stings a little, but you've had far worse, even in the last day. Have your eyes? She asked, backing up a little, looking you over. Oh my god. Wait. I don't know if you can see that, but this immediately came into my mind. She asked, backing up a little and looking you over. Always been golden like this? Oh my god, such a great song. I think it was on a lot of people's Spotify rap. I don't need to talk about how many minutes I streamed Hamilton for. The person who is the closest guest in the comments wins a gold star. Have they? You frown. No, you murmur, still watching her watch you. No, I think they were blue before. Blue, she repeats softly, then smiles. Same as my mother. Is that creepy? I don't know. You warm. You look just like my mother. Okay, you warm. I can't even see your eyes. She mutters, brushing hair out of them. You don't remember the last time you've cut your hair. You'd forgotten how much there was to see. I don't cut my hair. I can tell. She pauses, setting the right down. Would you like me to cut it? You hesitate. I haven't said anything, but I don't really know what your face looks like. This must be your beard from, what, adolescence? I cut it once, you protest. It is not that long. Her eyebrows raise. Well, let me? Yeah, I've always heard that hair holds memories, so you could cut it off and be a new person. She finds, oh, she didn't remember that. Usually she remembers that, but she didn't remember this. She finds shears somewhere. If she doesn't know the contents of your manner better than you do now, she definitely will soon, and sharpens them. It makes you nervous to have blades so close to your face, but you trust Jolie more than you thought you would. Right now? You ask bewildered. She shrugs. Is there a better time? I won't leave you hairless, I just want to get it out of your face. You hold very still, trying to remember to breathe as she starts combing through your hair with her fingers. Or trying to, it's quite tangled. You shudder, mortified. I can clean it later. Beast, she murmurs, focusing on you. It's okay, relax. Does she know his name? Like, that is Conan and not Beast? Relax, yes, I can do that. You can't. So true. Her fingers scratch your scalp and lightning shoots down your spine. I feel like you should also get that checked out. She starts cutting locks, leaving your hair around shoulder length for now, then cuts off the bulk of your beard. The sound makes your shoulders climb towards your ears. She keeps telling you to relax. Your head feels so light. She's touching your face. She asks you to finish the cut. You try not to melt. There you are, she says so softly. You do have a face. No one's seen it. You mutter, undoubtedly bright red. Don't have mirrors, didn't cut it. I see it. She smiles at you, just a small smile. But you feel the world end just a little. You have no idea what she thinks of you, but you're so glad that she's here and it nearly breaks you. She's being kind. You'd almost forgotten kind. Aww. F. Invite her to dinner. A nice dinner? You know what? Hell yeah. Let your imagination run wild. The waning is easier on you. I think Raven said that this was about 7,000 words long. But I don't know if that includes just one playthrough or the other pathways that you can go down. Days 5 through 11, last quarter. 21 days until full moon. You've regained a lot of energy in the waning, and now you're more able to interact with Jolie during the days. You keep falling asleep without meaning to, but with her here, you always wake up under a blanket. You like it a lot. That is one of the sweetest things, I think, if you fall asleep and then someone gives you a blanket. It's like they're caring about you. Ugh, it's so sweet. You like when she's in the library because it helps you want to focus on reading again. You've been living in a sort of haze, and her care is actually helping you. Nope. And her care is already helping you, you think. Her scent is all over the manor. It's comforting. She has a lot of questions about how you feel every day. Bewildering when you spent 10 years trying not to think about it, which sometimes wears on you, but you don't really mind. Your cooking is getting better now that she's helping you instead of suffering through your awful hospitality. Yes. She negotiated with you until you conceded that Jolie going into town to visit her father and buy groceries isn't such a bad thing. The food has improved dramatically. Yeah. This is like Beauty and the Beast, but she's actually free to leave. You're starting to think that companionship really is soothing the wolf, and you're starting to love having Jolie here with you. Is she loving being with you, though, is the true question. The new moon. Day 16, new moon. 15 days until full moon. And the gathering that happens every month. The new moon leaves you feeling as clear-minded as you can get. It's your favorite day of the month. What is my favorite day of the month? Probably either the 7th or the 21st, which I think is when the paychecks officially clear through my account. Make big number go bigger. Things have felt so good in the last few days that you can hardly believe. You've had the brain power to get so many things done, if only. Gathering the last of the berries, fixing the cellar door, even going into rooms with Jolie that you haven't been to since before you were cursed. You sometimes go around just opening things, rediscovering the contents of your home now that you can think. It makes Jolie laugh. She won't explain why. You find your key ring. You don't even know why half of the doors in this place are locked. She already has the key to the library, but it feels like it's well past time to show a little more trust. You certainly feel it. There are keys for the rooms you go into, mostly just the library, kitchen, and a couple of others. There's a key ring with all the keys for the whole manor. You haven't been in some of these rooms since before the slaughter. The man behind the slaughter. I think one of my friends has that as... because you can make custom names for each server, I think. So it has a custom profile and man behind the slaughter. I feel like if our goal is to have sex with her, then we should give her the key ring. You decide to give her the key ring, even though it makes you a little anxious. You haven't been into the majority of the rooms in your house since before you have been, and giving her free reign feels like a lot. But you trust her. You want her to know that you trust her. You find her in the library. Last time I trust someone... yeah, it didn't go well, but that's okay. You bring her the key ring. She's sitting at the window with a book on her lap. Oh, thank you, she says, eyebrows raising. She puts it in her pocket, smiling. She's happy to see you. It makes your face unbearably warm, but not as bad as before she cut your hair. Your face has gotten scruffy, but she didn't shave cleanly enough that the regrowth itches. She explained this all to you. You just kind of grew facial hair once and then didn't stop, but she knows the mechanics because of her father. You tell her your name. You don't know why, you're just tired of not thinking about it, and it all comes spilling out. Your name, your family. Conan. Yeah. Oh, there we go. That's why she's not calling you Beast anymore. But I feel like if you're living with someone for at least 15 days, they'd get really curious about what your real name is. And I feel like I'd maybe be lied to. She didn't remember your name before, but she does now. You're Conan. Like the singer, she says, her brow furrowed. I thought you were dead. Why? Explain why you faked your death. Was it you're just guilty that like everyone died but you? I decided to stay dead, you say, a little defensive. She watches you, maybe a little wary. Okay, and why don't you tell me? That's what I'm saying. Why didn't we say this sooner? She's acting like you were being completely ridiculous. Well, not to be the bearer of bad news. Maybe you are. It didn't matter to you, you snap, but the wolf anger doesn't rear its ugly head this time. It's the new moon. You're irrational. It didn't matter, dead or alive, it was the same. It's so relieving that you're having a hard time being angry. She's staring. Why would you? You're alive, Conan. The whole village thinks you're dead. Thinks you're dead. You're feeling even more defensive now. This was your decision 10 years ago, and having it challenged now makes you feel unsteady. I'm the monster, Jolie. The werewolf killed half the manor. By the time I killed it, everyone was gone or dead, and it had bitten me. I was better off dead. It didn't save anyone. The werewolf is me. My brain's like farting. I did do a final today, so it's a little sluggish. So the werewolf, the original werewolf, killed half his family. Then he killed it. Oh no, it bit him, and then he killed it. And then he was like, oh yeah, I'm dead too. Wait, how did he like fake his death? Was there not an investigation? Like it was a slaughter. That's okay. Her face colors. It's bewildering. You, she says, her voice wobbling. You can't say that. You can't say you were better off dead. She stands, squaring up to you. Even though she has to look up to see you, she cuts an intimidating figure. There are some new employees that are, like, tall as skyscrapers, let me tell you. And it's probably just because I'm kind of short. I'm on the shorter side, but, like, they're tall. There was also this guy who, I swear to God, he showed up and was like, I'm here for an interview. But he looked like he was 10. He was genuinely looked like such a child. Oh, you're here for an interview. Like working a job. This seems a little bit like child labor. I was about to be so happy, Conan, that you survived. The whole town thinks you were dead, and it's a miracle that you aren't. You don't get to just... Her voice breaks. She takes a deep breath. You open your mouth, stunned, but she's not done. She's crying. You being alive matters, Conan. I'm happy, you big dumb wolf. Jolie gives you a weak shove, her head tipping forward to rest against your chest. You saved you. You saved you? You saved you. You saved yourself? You saved... Your breath catches. You swallow a lump in your throat, overwhelmed. Everything you thought you understood about yourself crumbled. Aw. Your hand finds her back and rests there, and the whole world tilts. I was so scared, you whisper thickly. My parents died, and I didn't save them. I was the last one here after he attacked, and he bit me. You're crying now, too. I didn't want to face the town and tell them the monster was me now. So, if you bite another person, does that get rid of the curse that was inflicted on you? Or no? Does it just, like, infect someone, like a virus? Her tears are wetting your shirt. She wraps her arms around your waist. Did she not recognize him? Like, if she knew Conan? I don't know. You cling to her like you can't stand on your own. You're here, she whispers. You have me, you have people. It helps. You sit together for a while. You both sit down. It's quiet. You can hear the sounds of the forest, the creaking of the old manor. Jolie doesn't crowd you, but she sits close, and it unclenches something in you that you didn't know was tight. She doesn't push you to talk. Your thoughts lurch towards the past and come back again and again until your breathing evens out. Let me tell you. So when I came back from my vacation, I had 2 separate bottles of one of my night medicines, and somehow in transit I got mixed up. So I was actually taking my night medicine instead of a different medicine twice. That caused problems, for obvious reasons. But when I tell you that the past, coming back again and again, that's what my medicine that it accidentally replaced helps to stop. So I was going through a couple rough days. So I can understand it. The wolf settles. I have 2 wolves in me. Or maybe I have more than 2 wolves. I think I'll sleep well tonight, you say quietly. She looks up at you. New moon? You know, she knows almost as much as you do about the phases now. You seem different today, she says. If we had had this conversation when the moon was waxing, I think I would have gone a lot different. You shudder. I hate the waxing. Makes me feel like a lunatic. She smiles. How do you feel now? You consider. You look at her, and the dim light from the fire makes her glow with warmth. She looks beautiful, you think. Better. She leans her head against you, yawning. You go very, very still, which makes her laugh. I think I'll sleep well, too. Just like that, she's up. You miss the contact immediately. Wow, I'm tired, she sighs. She smiles at you a little hesitant. Good night, Conan. Night, Jolie. You follow a minute later, going to bed. You roll your shoulders back, feeling relaxed for once, hopeful. It doesn't last. The waxing is worse than it's ever been. Day 25, waxing, get this. 6 days until the full moon. Everything was seeming so easy. Jolie was soothing the curse, you could feel it. This was the easiest waning you've had in years. But the waxing is already burning right through that hope. Oh, well, it's cool as like waxing and waning, like waxing increases and then waning decreases, which is why they named it that. And I just realized. You're overcome by feverish heat and pain. The waxing moon is affecting you more deeply than ever before. You can't sleep. You're feverish. You pace through the manor, whirling around and investigating every noise. You ache. She spends a few more weeks with you, wordly helping you prepare. You love her. You were doomed to from the start, you realize, from as soon as she treated you kindly. Aww. Jolie makes the 10 years of solitude feel so much worse in retrospect. You didn't know how lonely you were until you had her for these few weeks. I hope I can meet someone that does that for me. Which is why when she tells you about home, it sends a pang of sadness through you. She's been writing to her father, visiting him sometimes when she goes into town for supplies. He's sick, and he's overworked without her helping in his clinic. She tries not to let you see how worried she is, but you can tell, you can smell it on her. Like, why don't you just go into their town together? I guess because he's still trying to pretend to be dead. The full moon approaches. Conan, well, if she didn't recognize him, then can't he just go back into town under a new identity? She says so hesitantly over one evening over dinner. You help her make a stew that comforts her even if it doesn't satisfy you like it should. You need a lot more meat this close to the full moon. My father, Dr. Silver, I need to go and help him for a while. I know it's bad timing, but I promise I'll come back. Her voice breaks. I don't know what to do. You want her to be happy, let her go, or ask her to stay with you? I feel like we're gonna let her go, like chat, to be so for real. You wouldn't be able to forgive yourself if her father died because you were keeping her here. Yeah. You've done so many moons alone, you can do one more. You sit with tremendous effort. Everything in you wants to run, and you look at her. Jolie, you're Jolie. Her hair has gotten a little longer since she's been here, and she's wearing clothes from one of your rooms you forgot existed. She's beautiful. Go, you say, your words halting. Your teeth are slightly elongated, and it makes it hard to speak. Go help him. The moon is coming, but I am strong. You don't feel strong, but you think you can bear this one. You'll be okay? You'll clean up? She asks, and her voice is trembling too. She wants to help you as badly as she wants to help her father. I will be okay. I mean, you've been okay for like 10 years, right? So she comes to you. Jolie cups your face, making your breath shudder out of you. Her eyes are warm and glossy as she studies your face. Her thumb brushes over your cheekbone, scruffy, warm, rough. You hold onto her wrist and close your eyes. Go, Jolie, you croak, throat tight. She swallows, her voice wobbles. Goodbye, Conan. I'm coming back, I promise. Let her go. You'll love her till you let her go. Nope, I don't. Is that how it goes? You stagger through, helping her gather her things until she makes you go sit down. The way she keeps looking at you makes you uncomfortable, like you're making her upset. So you go and do your pacing. Like you're making her upset, so you go and do your pacing. You're so moonsick you can hardly think. She gives you the saddest look you've ever seen before saying goodbye. Nope. Wait, what? Why did I say that twice? You've ever seen before saying goodbye. You think. You don't remember much of this day, just her scent fading. It's just you and the moon again. Well, she said she's coming back, right? Like she's gonna go help her father, and then maybe be back before the moon, but I guess not. F and C if 6 or more plus. She returns at dawn after an awful full moon and finds you on the ground outside the manor, having escaped during the night. She cries and kisses your face, telling you she wants to help in whatever way she can to ease your suffering. She loves you. The beast is soothed. But approval. 6. Name, false. Seller, false. Library, true. Guest, false. All, true. And that's the achievements we got from this game. I know what all of it means. Awesome. All jokes aside, that was so fun. I wonder if Raven will keep working on it, which would be really cool to see if it develops any further. But it is like a full, complete story in and of itself, right? Somehow, I managed to get the good ending, probably because I threw caution to the wind and was a lot more vulnerable than I'd ever be in real life. This is a video game, and your actions don't have consequences. But I'm glad that Raven gave me the opportunity to play this game, and I hope that if she wants to, she'll be able to continue it in the future.